The sound of applause fills the room. Cameras flash. The entire audience rises to their feet. And in the middle of it all stands a man, Brendan Fraser. His voice shakes. His eyes fill with tears. This is what a dream looks like.
So this is what the multiverse looks like. Oh, my goodness.
But what if I told you this moment almost never happened? Because the man standing on that stage in 2023 had already disappeared once before. A decade earlier, he was gone. No roles, no calls, no headlines, just silence. How does one of Hollywood's biggest stars vanish overnight? How do you go from global fame to complete invisibility? Because the truth is, he didn't walk away. He was pushed, punished for speaking about something Hollywood didn't want anyone to hear. This isn't just a comeback story. It's a story about power, about silence, and about a man who refused to disappear. To understand what happened, we have to go back to a time when Brendan Fraser was everywhere. Adventure, action, comedy, from The Mummy to George of the Jungle. He wasn't just popular, he was unstoppable. Studios trusted him, audiences loved him. He had something rare. He didn't feel like a celebrity, he felt real. But behind the scenes, there was another story. Brendan didn't fake action, he lived it. He performed his own stunts, took real hits, put his body on the line, again and again. At one point,
I almost gave my life at one point during a hanging sequence. I was on a platform with a rope around my neck, and I remember the camera came around. I thought, I'm gonna make this look really good. So I sort of took a few deep breaths and kind of bared down, and then I realized I was on the balls of my feet, and the rope was going up, and I had nowhere to go. And then the world kind of dialed down.
And when that happened, he did not know what happened. The stunt coordinator ran over to him and was clapping in his face, trying to wake him up. And when he finally woke up,
he goes, "Hey, congratulations. You've just joined the club with Mel Gibson. He got choked out on Braveheart, too."
Most people found this funny, but he came back the next day. Because in Hollywood, you don't say no. Over the years, the damage stacked up. Knee surgeries, back injuries, spinal damage. He later said he felt like he had to build an exoskeleton just to get through filming. Ice packs under his clothes, tape holding his body together. The audience saw a hero, but behind the scenes, he was slowly breaking apart. And just when everything seemed perfect, something happened that would change his life forever. The year was 2003, a private event in Beverly Hills, a room full of powerful people. And one moment, that would follow Brendan Fraser for the rest of his life. He later revealed an incident involving Philip Burke, a man with influence, connections, control. Brendan says he was assaulted. He later described it like this: "It felt like someone had thrown invisible paint on me, something you can't see, but you can never wash off." And then came the decision: stay quiet or speak up. Today, that sounds simple, but back then, it wasn't. Speaking out didn't make you brave, it made you a problem. And Brendan chose to speak, not publicly, not loudly, but enough for the wrong people to notice. And then, everything changed. The calls slowed down, then stopped. The roles disappeared. The invitations vanished. No explanation, no warning, just silence. This is what being blacklisted looks like. Not a headline, not a statement, just a slow, quiet erasing. And the hardest part, watching the world move on, like nothing ever happened. He wasn't fired, he wasn't canceled, he was forgotten. And for years, he carried that alone. When your career disappears, life doesn't stop. For Brendan Fraser, everything collapsed at once: a painful divorce, the loss of his mother, and a career that was slipping away. But in the middle of all that, there was something that still mattered: his children, especially his son, Griffin. He once called him a gift, someone who changed the way he saw everything. Success was no longer about fame. It became about something simpler: showing up every day, even when he was in pain, even when he felt lost, because being a father doesn't wait. Meanwhile, the pressure kept building: massive financial obligations, medical bills, and a body that was falling apart, years of injuries, finally catching up. And then, the loneliness. A different kind of silence, the kind you feel when you're sitting alone in a house that used to feel full. No cameras, no applause, just thoughts. And one question: who am I now if I'm not that man anymore? For many people, this is where the story ends. But not for him, because even in the darkest moment, he kept showing up, and that changed everything. Years passed, and eventually, the silence became normal, until one day, the phone rang. Director Darren Aronofsky, the film The Whale. This wasn't just another role, it was something deeper. Aronofsky didn't want a star, he wanted truth, and he saw it in Brendan. But saying yes was terrifying. What if he failed? What if the world had moved on? Still, he took the chance. And then came the transformation. 6 hours a day, in makeup, a heavy prosthetic suit, a completely new body, and inside it, a man pouring his real life into the role. Heavy, vulnerable, raw. This wasn't acting, pain, truth. And slowly, people started noticing. Clips went viral, fans returned. The internet gave it a name, the Renaissance. Then came Venice. The film ends, silence. Then, applause. It grows louder. People stand. 6 minutes, a standing ovation. He tries to leave, but they won't let him. As if the world is saying, "We see you now." And for the first time in years, he breaks. Not from pain, but from being seen. And just like that, we're back where we started. The Oscars. At the Academy Awards, he wins. But the real victory didn't happen on that stage. It happened in the silence, in the years no one saw, when he kept going, even when everything told him to stop, showing up. That's where the real victory lives. And now, he's back, working with directors like Martin Scorsese, a future that once felt impossible. But this isn't just his story, it's ours, because everyone falls, but not everyone gets back up. So the question is, do you stay down or do you rise again? Tell me your story, because someone out there needs to hear it. And maybe that's how we rise together.